Okay, um, I'm going to pick right back up where we left off, and I want to show you a couple of other things about Quarto. Now, when you create that first file, it comes up with some things, and they're actually going to help you a little bit. Quarto, this tells you what this is and how it works. It's being able to weave together content and executable code into a finished document. In this case, it's an HTML file, but I can also, by moving the docx up to the top, um, I can render the same thing into a Word file. It may take just a second more, and I don't know for sure if you'll be able to see it. But okay, so there we go. So you can also weave it into a Word file, um, or render it. And you do this with the render button. You may have noticed that I'm being fairly careful about how lined up these things are. That's because if they're not lined up, uh, if they're not lined up, if they're not aligned, it'll cause a problem. So it's not that they necessarily have to be in the same spot, but the things that go with each other have to be lined up together. So the HTML and the docx have to be aligned with each other. Uh, so things to know in Quarto. First of all, in Quarto, you can type anything you want and it won't create an error as long as you're in a text chunk. And as long as it is not some sort of special character. So there are certain special characters. Just stay away from special characters and you'll be safe there. Um, you can render it and it will. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, well, it's done. I don't want to reopen the Word file, so I'm going to come up and I'm going to put my HTML back here, make sure everything's lined up, and render it as HTML. And it'll pop up over here in the viewer, um, if it works. There we go. It worked. So see, all of that was typing. But what if I want to run code? Well, down here there is actually some code. And it's in what's called a code chunk. And the code chunks look just like this. So this code has this little chunk with uh, 3 backticks and the curly brackets with the letter R inside, and then it has to be closed with 3 more backticks. And this one is just doing the mathematical operation 1 plus 1. Um, you can add options. So down here, uh, so here the code is there, and I can open it up and we can see what it is. Down here you can't see it, and that's because it's got echo false. You're going to want to use echo false for a lot of what you do, because echo false is what makes things not spit out all the code. Uh, but you're also going to want to have as the backup the code fold true. So between code fold true, you can leave the code folded up, and then echo false allows you to hide it entirely. But what if we want some different code? Um, so first of all, you may have noticed Quarto was preceded by this, and it ends up getting printed like this. This is a top level heading. This is a second level heading. This is a third level heading. So you can do some things. I'm going to show you just a few of the things you can do really quickly with text, and then I'll come back and show you the things you can do with code. So you do that and you get different size headings. If you want some bold text, This is bold text. Actually, I think that's italic text. So, okay, that is bold text. This is italic text. Watch, and I'll be wrong. Uh, what if I want to make a list? Let's see. This is a top level list. This is the second item. This is the second level. Unfortunately, you can't go below second level, but you can do that. Um, so when I render, I've got top level heading, third level heading, bold text, italics, top level list, second item, and I changed those to those. Um, then this is the second level. This is the second item in the second level. Um, you can only do bold and italic in top level lists. You can't do it in the second level. Um, so there are some things that are just not perfect. This is called Markdown language. It's not made for producing super complicated documents in a really great way. There are other options for that, but um, that's that's enough to understand where we're going. What you're going to end up doing is you might create sections. So you might call this introduction, and then you might do a second level heading that you go, I don't know, you give it some name. Uh, um, Actually, ideally, you're probably going to want to call introduction a second level, and then type your introduction here. And then your next section is maybe descriptive statistics. And you're going to type some stuff here. And you're going to have an option at this point. If you're doing the descriptive statistics, there are some ways that you can add um, images. So you could add the images directly, which I'll show you how to do, or I'll show you how to do that. Or since these are plots, you can press Control Alt I and create a code chunk, and you can create the plots in the code chunk. So I'm going to come back next and show you some things that are really important to know about code chunks, and then I think after that I will give you a short third video where I actually just copy some stuff over from the lab files. All right.